Good morning. The world's attention is now focused on the disruption of the crude oil markets now that the Strait of Hormuz is closed to almost everyone, except for the handful of ships that Iran allows to sail through. Refineries in the United States are maybe the biggest beneficiaries of that disruption. But there is another profound shift in the global energy markets, and that also is a boon to US energy companies. Before the war in Iran, the United States made up almost all of the growth in the LNG market. In 2025, 93% of the new liquefied natural gas coming onto the market was of US origin. Just 10 years ago, the United States exports of LNG were statistically zero. That's the blue line. In 2015, Australian exports of LNG were 1.5 trillion cubic feet per year, and Qatar was about 3.8 trillion TCF. Fast forward 10 years, and Qatar had nudged up slightly, while US exports increased over 200 times. Europe was the primary export destination for over 2/3 of the American exports of LNG. It was two transformations that made all that go, all those European imports of American LNG. New fleets of ships that carry liquefied natural gas meant that the natural gas market is no longer regional. Natural gas used to flow only by pipeline, and that meant markets that were stitched together regionally, and different markets had different prices. Then came the liquefaction process for natural gas and the giant ships that could move all that around. And so today you don't need to build a pipeline to a natural gas supplier to buy it. A ship can bring it to you. And that was the thinking of Europeans who switched off their purchases of Russian natural gas that came through pipelines west. They would just buy from suppliers in the United States. In 2025, exports of Russian LNG fell, at least those exports which are visible to Western analysts. But Europe, meanwhile, increased their imports of natural gas by 29%, by 3.8 billion cubic feet per day. Output from the United States, plus Qatar, was sufficient, barely, to keep the lights on in Europe. But in 2026, everything is different. The business model for the American natural gas industry now centers on liquefaction and shipping. LNG buyers and traders can buy US natural gas, load it onto a ship, put it on the ocean, and then wait for the bids to come in. The ship can go to any market. And that's another key point. Most producers don't have much spare capacity, and they cannot quickly scale up new production. This report is dated 2 April, so after just 1 month of fighting in the Persian Gulf, the LNG market was already shifting. American shipments to Asia more than doubled from February to March, even though at that time, 4 months ago, Europe was still the largest buyer of US LNG cargoes. By June, countries in Asia were gobbling up whatever LNG they could get, and more ships were heading this way instead. The spot market is for immediate delivery. Spot market buyers say, I need this right now, here's my money and my address. And Pakistan is paying their highest prices in years to bring it over. Bangladesh is doing the same. And that is a result of Qatar being taken out of the market entirely. Until 4 months ago, Qatar was a major global supplier of LNG. But now it is Qatari exports of natural gas, which are statistically at zero. Here is the chart for prices paid for LNG in Asia, and there is a vertical spike from around $10 per million BTU to $25, and that seemed to happen in a single day. That was the day that Iranian drones and rockets took down the Ras Laffan refinery in Qatar, which said a few hours later that they were declaring force majeure on outstanding natural gas and fertilizer contracts. Asian economies understood immediately that the only way they would get through the summer with their air conditioners on was to place emergency calls to American LNG suppliers and to raise prices on electricity at home to reduce consumption. Long term, they want to diversify their energy needs away from everybody, and that means they're reliant in the short term on China for the renewables technology and the hardware to get new solar and wind projects up and running. But for Europe, everything is falling apart at the same time. Qatari production is offline for months, at least, and maybe years. New and expanded Russian pipelines are sending their natural gas to China. And Asian countries are indifferent to price and are scooping up American LNG. Asian imports are at their high for the year, while European imports hit their lowest level in 2 years. Prices jumped around during the so-called ceasefire, when it was hoped that Qatar would get some LNG production and exports going, but that didn't last, and so prices shot up again. China was even a buyer at those relatively low levels during the ceasefire, but analysts think they won't be buying any more at these higher prices. But Singapore, South Korea, and Japan will have no choice. It's a seller's market, and the US is a seller. Japanese imports of LNG from the United States will be almost 1 million tons this month, 15 times higher than it was back in February. In early February, Japan signed a new supply agreement with Qatar, which previously in 2025 had supplied 3.6 million tons of LNG to Japan. The war on Iran started in late February, and in early March, the Qatari LNG industry effectively ceased to exist. So ships that are full of LNG that used to go between the United States and Europe are going to Asia instead. And that is happening at the same time Europe needs to refill their natural gas reserves to get them through the winter. The current storage deficit is 158 terawatt hours, or the energy demand equivalent of 15 million households for a full year. That's how short Europe is right now. Only way out is to pay spot market prices, which are no doubt going even higher. Higher for longer prices for LNG is great news for the United States. Electricity prices are rising in the US, but American energy companies can make a lot more money converting their natural gas to LNG and shipping it across the world rather than keeping it at home. The base price for natural gas itself has not moved much in the US. Nat gas prices are about the same today as when the war started. Those profit margins are enormous then, and US energy companies can scoop up all that cheap supply and liquefy it and ship it to anyone paying spot prices. Liquefied natural gas will be the second largest export industry in the United States within 5 years. This is Sichuan. Be good.